Welcome to the Celebration of You. I'm your host, Holly Dowling. I'm thrilled to share with you incredible people from all over the world who are living and leading extraordinary lives. From overcoming immense adversity to discovering the secret sauce to leading with courage and grace. Their stories are going to bring you hope and inspiration. Now let the stories begin. Oh my gosh, welcome everybody to the Celebration of You. And you can hear giggles already starting. Oh my goodness, are you in for a treat today? And as always, I like to just pause before I introduce you to the most amazing, beautiful, brilliant woman that has come into my life. And I can't wait to celebrate and share her story with you. And before I do, I just want to thank everyone out there, all the men, the women, the children, the families that sit together to listen to this show in over 150 countries. And because of you, this show exists. And I thank you for the stories that inspire you and that give you hope. And that's why we do it. So here we go. May I have the honor and the privilege of introducing you to this amazing, beautiful woman in my life, Kimberly Miles. Hi, darling.
Well, gosh, I love that. I got goosebumps, girl. Thank you. Holly, I feel the same way about you. I mean, really just being so inspired by talking to your people and looking at the things that you're doing and just even our brief conversation before we came into studio to do this. I'm very, very grateful. Yes. Good morning. Thank you.
Oh, good morning, my love. And you know what? It's like, and the team keeps saying, oh my gosh, you guys are going to be best friends. You have no idea what's about to happen in your life. And I'm like,
it's happening, darling.
Oh, darling. I love that. And everybody, you know, I say this a lot. It's something I'm very passionate about, Kimberly, and I know you are too, but I want everybody listening to truly understand this is another moment of the purest form of the universe, divine, and serendipity. When you are open and you start saying yes to what your soul is supposed to be doing in this world, amazing, beautiful things happen and beautiful people come into your life. So Kimberly Miles, let me just brag on you for a minute. Hold on. I know.
Okay, I'll let you.
Just let me brag on you. All right. For 1 minute. This is what's really cool because I can't wait to get to the backstory. But Kimberly Miles is the founder. You are the founder and president of TPC Payroll HR Consultants, which is Nevada's, by the way, let me say that Nevada's largest privately held national payroll and human resources management firm. And you've been in this kind of world, in the corporate world, for over 2 decades. And I could read you every darn award this woman has gotten. I don't think I've ever seen a bio. And what I love about you is you're so humble that if I sat here and read a page worth of awards, it would blow my listeners away. But everything from being, I mean, you've had them all. I can't even begin to recite all the awards you've been given. And it's because you've taken the time, I believe, Kimberly, to take what you are an expert at, but even more and bigger than that, you believe in women, you believe in men, you believe in giving people opportunities to overcome adversity. And you have taken your wonderful success and you've put it to your heart passion. And you are the founder of the Be a Shiro Foundation that I get to be a part of and experience you and your brilliance in a few weeks. So my love, thank you for being with me. You are amazing. I mean, where do we begin? I mean, my God, you've had so many awards. I mean, I could read these. You're like a judge for the Stevie Awards. Oh my God, I wonder if you judged it when I won. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, isn't that interesting? Yeah, I did that one for consecutive years. 2016 to through 2019. I feel blessed because most of the women that were on the panel were way superior to myself, and some of the stories that I read, I take that so close to my heart. I guess one of the biggest things that I say in my life, Holly, is don't judge me for the past, but look at the present and see what I'm doing today. If we continue to live in the past and forget the present, right, which we know is the gift of now, what are you doing today to make a difference? Right?
Oh, if that is not the epitome of what I think about with what you're doing. So tell us, you know, Kimberly, I'd love to know, because I don't like to know too much, right? I like to be just as surprised. So you have this amazing payroll company. Can you just give us a quick overview of what was the passion that ignited you starting this company? And then we'll get to the big passion of your heart.
Well, it's funny because I was going to leave the industry in 1999. I had enough of the thing that I've seen in corporate America. I actually have a dis-ease called corporate avoidance syndrome. So when I wanted to leave these publicly traded, oh my gosh, I quite frankly was disappointed to what I thought. I thought corporate America was a savior. It was saving my life. It was the most money that I ever made. I was exiting that industry, was going into mortgage sales at the peak in Las Vegas and many other states. And I just knew I was going to really bang it up, be only responsible for myself, didn't have to answer to anybody. I had proven results for 15 years almost at this publicly traded organization and made all this money for them. And I just said, you know what? I just kind of want to be introverted. Well, of course, my clients came to me and said, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Please don't leave. No one else is going to do our payroll, Kimberly, please. And that's where the investors surprised me, laid down the cash, and the payroll company was founded in 2000.
Wow. Well, and I love that you were going to leave. You were like, I'm done. I'm done with the corporate world.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. And so I just was going to do my own and go on. Well, that didn't happen. Instead, I got to learn from ground zero how to found a company that moves just a ton of money, because that's really what I do. I do money movement. I pay taxes. I move your money from your business into your personal accounts to your employees' accounts. I have a lot of responsibility through money movement. And I didn't realize that when I was getting into it. And when it started with the payroll company and then rebranded in 2010, TPC, HR Payroll Consultants. So we don't take on every client, Holly.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. People say, how do you do it all, Kimberly? Well, you can't spell Shiro without HR. It all ties together, right?
Love that. Yes.
You're pulling it all. You're tying it together. That's what we do. We do whatever it takes to get it done.
Yeah.
And so I'm really only doing one thing. It's just a crossover or a bridge for me constantly when I'm uplifting or building cultures or tying all the pieces together to remember that our employees are our internal clients. The relationships that you have going on in your business, your professional, does attract or something less in your personal life. You just show up and who you are. It's not quadranted. Everything does come into the office. It's just like everything comes into your home. And how are you creating balance?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I just spoke at a big event the other 2 nights ago, and I talked about work-life balance is really work-life boundaries. You got to have boundaries, right? And you just said something, especially for women, that are struggling with reinventing themselves or, never feeling like it's too late to dream again. You are a walking example of never stopping, never giving up, reinventing, taking what's working, keep going. And you just said something I don't want anybody to miss, Kimberly. And that is, you don't take every client. And you know what I love about that is I love to empower people to learn to have the power of yes and the power of no. Know when to say no so that you can say yes where your gifts can be leveraged at their very best. And that's what you're doing, Yeah,
you have to live it.
Yeah.
This pretense of, being something that we're not or putting something out there, it's just pieces of it. It doesn't mean you are that or you're not that. It's a piece of us. We're multifaceted, and really being able to attract something every time I say that may not work or here's a better fit for you. I am telling the universe very clearly over and over and over, even some of the biggest money clients that I've let pass me by, to know that how much is it going to cost me or my team later. I don't want to find from a client situation that they own you and you're being bullied through a client internally or externally. Right?
Yeah.
And it's tough in the beginning. I wasn't always this way. I had to take some heavy punches, Holly. I really had to learn that, living on this really big giant whale that's paying me all this money, that's causing myself and my team, it's almost brutality on their demandingness. They could also sue me, which I'm really proud to say I've never been sued in my entire 20 years.
Look at me. I'm giving you like a standing ovation. I'm in my studio right now. But you know what?
That's karma.
It is karma. It's totally karma, because what you're putting out, you're attracting, and people don't realize how powerful that energy of the universe is. Oh my God. I love this about you.
It's truth. It's truth. We started with what? the secret, right?
Yeah.
The secret. Is it really a secret? Have you really known you've had magic that happen in your life? Magic is all around us. But think of the thing that you think you see through the paycheck. Think of the people that are employing other people, the illegitimate children, the partner on the payroll that the other partner doesn't know about. There's so many things that are happening. Think of the different industries that I might run into here in Las Vegas and beyond.
Yeah.
Escort services.
Well, this
Strip
is
club.
exactly why you started your foundation. You wanted to eradicate, right, the whole modern day slavery. And this is a perfect transition because the Bia Shiro Foundation you founded, and you're about to have your 5th annual gala, which is going to be amazing. I know. I can't even believe you're ending the busiest time for tax season for all your clients, getting all the 1099s out, and you're throwing the biggest gala of the lifetime. And yet it just back to the universe. You have chose, look at, you're still laughing because you're like, yeah, did I sleep last night? I think I was there all night at the office.
The first couple of years I was just crazy with a, double Z, triple E, but it had to be because Super Bowl weekend is the largest trafficked weekend in the United States.
What?
For young girls under the age of 25. It's the Super Bowl.
I did not know that. Wait, hold on. I have to pause.
Know that.
I did not know that. You are teaching me something right now. Holy Toledos.
Yeah, so we used to have it on Super Bowl weekend because they were sick of gambling or partying or buying our girls. And by the way, our girls are not for sale. I want to say that really clearly. What happens in Vegas will follow you all the way home if you touch one of our children and we get a picture of you and we send it back to your neighborhood. The buyers we have a super big issue with, but we moved it to the following weekend instead of having pre-Super Bowl. But we did it initially that way. It was costing us too much and enough wasn't going back to the clients or the people that we serve. So while it was a great Saturday before Super Bowl, we got a lot of Cirque du Soleil, the shows were dark and all these amazing things. We actually found doing it after the month of human trafficking, which we're in right now. January is Human Trafficking Month. Right. January 11th was started with Human Trafficking Day. Then we got the whole month. Then we had the Super Bowl, and then we have the party, which ironically is the week of my birthday. So that's serendipity.
I love that. When's your birthday?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Oh, the 4th, February 4th.
That's my mom's birthday. Oh, yeah. You are. You and my mom, February 4th. Okay, so this is fascinating because you started this. Now it all makes sense when you were earlier telling me about Super Bowl. Let's get to the heart of this. And I want people to be scared. We are going to scare people so that they wake up and have an awareness. And I'm always like, world, it is time to wake up and realize what's going on. So you started this. Where did this, was it just because you were seeing it in Vegas? Did you have a personal thing that goes back to a young child? Like, I don't know your story. Is there something here, Kimberly, that impacted you younger in your life that is a big part of this?
Comes from trauma most of the time. Think of the people that have a heart attack and then they wake up and they start eating better and start living life and appreciating their body and working out and all those type of things. I really just drilling it down. I was in a wheelchair till I was 8 years old. My mom committed suicide when I was 10 years old. I left the house at 15 years old. I was brutally raped at 18, hospitalized, and I had a wake-up call. In fact, I used to sing a song to myself. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? And I started answering those questions to myself and humming to myself, a vibration coming through me, waking me up and understanding that I ultimately am responsible for the direction that I am going in my life, that life happens from us, not to us. And I believe I chose my parents to go through these processes to be able to shine a light or a pathway for others to get out. That to never give up and to be able to train the universe. As long as you keep giving it your best shot, you might end up 3rd or 8th or 20th. Eventually you'll end up first on top of your game. Eventually other people will start believing you because you create the cellular makeup of the vibration of the universe of what you want to attract. And so from that point on, I made a deal with God and I said, I am going to make enough money to get out of this place, and I will spend the rest of my life giving back. And all I'm doing is honoring my commitment, Holly.
Do you know, I'm almost speechless right now. I have tears. No, I've got tears because, Wow. This is what makes you this amazing light in our world. Kimberly, I did not know. And what I love you even more right now because your commitment, and I want everybody, oh my gosh, look at me. You can't see me, Kimberly, I'm sorry. And I didn't bring Kleenex to the office to do my studio.
Use your sleep, Holly.
Oh, I am. Oh my goodness. I think I even had a little cover up under my eyes, but it's gone. It's wiped over. You are, I'm going to say it, you're an angel on assignment. And you could have, I have a mantra and I feel like you are the living example of it. I choose not to live in woe is me. I choose to live in wow is me. And everything you've been through, and listen, world, listen to her voice. She could have been living in the woe is me for the rest of her life and living in the quicksand of look what the world did to me. And Kimberly, what you've done is embraced it and embraced life. I love you more right now. Oh my God, you are.
Well, I love what you said about wow, because I think that's what it says in woman. We're wow man. Oh, man.
Yes,
aren't we?
Yeah, well, you're right,
it's
babe.
Really true.
It is.
It's very true. It's not, we thought all these years it was a dress on the bathroom door when you walk in. It's a cape, girl.
It's a cape. It's like in the posters, the capes. We're all wearing those capes,
Right,
girlfriend.
right.
Oh my God, I think this is just magnificent. And you committed to God and you did it. You've had an incredible, your success, corporate and professionally and with your own business off the charts. And you never stopped saying, this is why I'm doing that, because your why was so much bigger than that. It's so you can do this. Will you share? Oh, Kimberly, I cannot wait to be with you in 2 weeks. Will you tell me, share with all of us, what are some of your, and I mean, you had no idea I was going to ask this, but since you've started this foundation, what are some of your biggest, I say ahas, the celebrations, the success stories of getting women out of trafficking? I mean, don't share names, but is there anything you can share with us that you?
Sure. I have a gal right now working for me part-time. We bring in girls through my payroll companies to start teaching them about finances, processes. Even through the Shiro Foundation, we have a teen board to understand how business works, meaning how to run a board meeting, how to take minutes, what's happening to get to the next level, to even develop your own company. I empower others to inspire one another to take risk. That's my gift. Fear is a liar. We tell these, or MSU, I'm from Michigan, right? Making shit up in our heads.
Yes.
Right? That's the university I went to. And I had to quickly stop and take a good hard look. So when we bring the team in here that have come out and have been so low self-esteem, it's low vibration from what we taught because we thought we weren't worthy. And this comes across every economic background. Yeah. When you're told what to do in wealthy families and the parents are figuring it out for you and showing you and telling you, is actually a lower vibrational energy because you can't make up your own mind. When you're homeless and on the streets, you have to think fast. If you have drug infected, including alcohol, the number one gateway drug, when you're anesthetized or your parents are anesthetized, you got to figure it out yourself, where the two worlds come clashing together. And I put the two worlds together because we have something to learn from the wealthy and then the healthy working towards wealth. Does that make sense?
It really does. And I got goosebumps as you said that, because you also mentioned earlier in our chat about it's about eradicating the buyers as much. So working with the wealthy to help mentor and help everybody be educated. It's also about bringing awareness to who are the buyers out here that are provoking this whole sickness.
Right? Well, let's talk about it for a minute, Holly. Yeah. I want to kind of give you some of the things that we've came across. So I'll give you a story that happened at one of the biggest properties, Bellagio here in Las Vegas, one of the most amazing events, one of my favorite properties. There was guys that came in from the East Coast. Never even made the news. They had, it was a sting. They had a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. They bought the prostitutes for their bachelorette party, right? Mm-hmm. Good guys coming in, married families, they're coming for the party. Well, 2 guys walked out of 35. The rest, unfortunately, to make the sting, had to commit the crime to these buyers. And when the leader was asked who booked it, he said, I don't ask how my sausage is made. When he was asked, didn't you realize that these girls were underage? So the girls that walked out after that situation were obviously very traumatized, and the things that were happening, they were also drug induced.
Yeah.
One of the girls answers that she just actually thought that she was brought up to be a sex slave, that she had been convinced as being molested as a young child. It was a family member who had got them into the business. This is big money.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it runs in family. I mean, you can have that story, or you can have the story of Jeffrey Epstein girls as a buyer bringing it in. But he had so many of them as a billionaire. Everybody wants the fancy cars. The first way we recognize success is money by what do you drive? Where do you live? What bag do you carry? Right? Yeah. All of these things telling our youth whatever it takes to make the money. We're losing sight on the value system of people versus profit. People, when you gather together and lock arms, the money will come. It's what you said earlier in the conversation when we got started.
Kimberly, and I'm thinking about how many of these stories, this is just one because it was a sting, and how many of these, and one of the things I've learned a lot about being involved in the Global Summit for Anti-Child Exploitation is so much is happening over the internet now. It's not just being on the street, right? This is happening. There's a story I heard the other day of a child. I mean, she's like 15 and she's being trafficked in her bedroom over the internet next door to her parents' bedroom. And her parents didn't even know for 8 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
The pornography is ridiculous. The pedophile pornography is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it starts with little things of show me your tits. Yeah. There's a really, because you can let people into your house too. There's a really great book by Peggy Ornstein, Girls and Sex. Have you heard of it?
No. Okay.
Oh my God, great book. I highly recommend it. She talks about some of the highest elevated girls that are straight A students, high GPAs. I mean, we're talking girls under the 18, years of age, feeling so obligated to please their boyfriends that when we were told under the Clinton administration from one of our top leaders that I did not have sexual relations, we were told then that blowjobs weren't sex.
You're right. I never even put the two together. That was permission to say it's not sex in that world.
And us to feel obligated to do that versus having intercourse. So it's happening all the time. Have you heard of the rainbow parties, Holly?
Oh, yes. My boys. Yes, I raised my boys that we're going to talk about everything. And I wasn't raised that way, Kimberly. I was raised, I'm from the Midwest, you from Michigan. You're raised, you don't talk about it. You're a virgin till you're married, right? We never talked about anything. And so with 3 boys, it was like, we're going to start talking about stuff. And sometimes, Kimberly, it was tough conversations, right? Like I'd almost go, oh, but when they said, are you aware of this, Mom? And I remember the whole thing, finding out about this and being like, are you kidding me? Like this is where it's starting. It's starting with kids and they see it on, let's face it, even the gaming industry. Some of this stuff is starting right in the gaming. They're playing video games and what they're seeing is embedding it in their brains. I mean, I just interviewed a nurse, one of the nationally recognized nurses now, who is a part of the council I'm on. And her specialty is, having to be the person to examine children coming into the hospital to a children's mercy. And she said the number one thing now is children on children. Yeah. It made my stomach turn because it's all they're seeing. It's what they know. So what do they go do? Repeat the behavior, right?
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting too, because it's also training the mind. So Grand Theft Auto, we actually presented at the gala last year, and we were still in a masquerade gala because we still hadn't uncovered. If you look at what's happened over this last year on who's been uncovered and how big it is, that's why we're the butterfly ball this year. We're transitioning. The mask is off. The truth is out between Weinstein and Hollywood and, the doctor in the Olympics and, Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly. I could just go on and on and on, the secrets in Catholicism with priests and how they've been covered up. There's just thousands of things that came out this past year. It's time. The time is now in the transition. But as all these things are happening and training our brains, we put on Grand Theft Auto, one of the top selling video games out there. And we had one of our kids, one of our teen board members, get us through, and we were able to record with the camera. Once you get to higher levels, you get points for killing a prostitute. Well, that's what they're told, but not all of them are prostitutes. What they're saying in there is women that were dressed in nursing outfits, women that were dressed in bathing suits, regular day to day. The higher you got in through these back doors for point systems, the more brutal you abused the women, the men, slashing the women, the more points you got. Now, we were able to put that on the big screen, and the gasp and silence in the room, because they either knew somebody that played the game, or they didn't know that you could go this deep into it. Driving the car, stealing a car, Grand Theft Auto, it doesn't talk about, give me more money, or the guy thrusting his waist, and girls being demonized that were unworthy. It's a shocker.
Are you going to play that for us?
No,
okay.
We have another one we're going to play.
Okay, look at you. Wait, after all that, I'm sitting. Oh my God!
This is year 5.
Wait, that was so funny. Did you hear your voice?
Tell you that there's a lot of things going on in the stories that'll be very quickly to explain to people. Take Your Pills is another great Netflix documentary that explains the opioid epidemic, because I'm on Adderall or Ritalin, and I forget the other one. And adults are taking it. High-level business people are taking it to max themselves out and really deliver results. You're great until you crash, but what's it doing into a child's brain? Oh. The child brain of teaching them, and then them paying Grand Theft Auto, and their brain isn't even fully developed until you're 25 or 30, male or female. This came from the National Board of Child Adolescent Psychiatry. We're putting these heavy drugs into the kids, and then they're paying these games. What type of twisted development are we creating?
You're right.
Right?
Yes. No, and it's layering and layering and layering. And parents if you have children, or you're guardians of children, or you have children, you have influence on children, right? It's like, wake up, realize this is a huge epidemic. And the ripple effect of what's happening is it's over the top. I mean, honestly, just what you just said, think about how many kids are on all this medicine for ADD, and it's so easy to get a doctor to put them on it. And then we're seeing suicide, but we're seeing all of this, just like you said. It's
at the highest rate ever. Obesity, right? Mm-hmm. Suicide, bullyism. We're drugged, but start thinking think how hard it is to get off the drug. Think when we get sick and we keep taking the drug, it's perpetrating this income that's publicly traded. Our healthcare system is being publicly traded now by Omnicare and DaVita. Most people don't know this, that they're betting on the odds of us being sick between our food and drug administration.
Oh.
We have to go deeper. We have to start talking about what's happening, because the value of life, let's really get into it, Holly, is population. We have 7.5 trillion people on this earth, growing at 80 million a year.
That is a showstopper. You just said growing at 80 million a year.
Right. We're not dying at that rate.
No.
If you compare the rates. So as we take over Mother Earth, right, some of the things they talked about, the GMOs.
Yep.
Right. And the breakdown of what's happening, right, ecologically, how we're burning things down to create more land, to produce more meat, yep, which is our number one emissions back into the air. And how much water does it take to feed all of these animals so we can put them on a plate? And then think about how much we waste. Think of all the grocery stores. And we have a hunger problem. When we lock arms together and look deeper at what is this all coming from, it's overpopulation.
You just took us from a granular to an air traffic controller view. I love that. You did. And you know what? You just made it that profound. It's like taking us from the literally streets of Vegas to way up here as a global movement. And I had the best visual when you said If we lock arms, this starts as a population. So Kimberly, I just want to ask you something as we think about we could, you know what? I think we should do a part 2 because there's so much, right? We could keep going for hours. People would be like, oh my God, these ladies could just keep going and going. And I know. And there's so much, you have so much knowledge. You have so much passion. And for the people listening who for some people, this is a wake up. They don't think it happens to them. We don't think it happens in white collar communities. We don't think this stuff is happening. It's happening, everybody. It's happening everywhere in your backyard. And for everyone, Kimberly, what are like 2 pieces of, whether it's advice of how to wake up, what to look for, how to start paying closer attention. I mean, and just everything you've learned, what could you give our listeners as a wake up call?
Is, for safety is we're all at risk. Being awoke is literally paying attention to something small to don't drive the same way home every time. Most people who are abducted, even including children's riding their bike or doing their same routine, we have been stalked for a while before abduction. It's a number 1 wake-up call. Number 2, really get to know the people, especially in dating at any age. Things are not always as they appear. Just like I would say before we would ever go deeper in a relationship, you see these relationships that really move fast. They're all not bad. Or these people that we're meeting over the internet. Truthfully, in transparency, if you get a feeling that a question is there, go deeper into investigating it, because there's something called Romeos where they enhance us into a life and they spoil us rotten. I can tell you more than 5 stories of my personal facilitating with these young girls that they were led to Las Vegas on a dream of modeling, convinced their parents to go and take care of their child, and he's going to be this great guy, to only drive up to a brothel as soon as you get here and say, you're going to pay me back. I've spent a lot of money on you. And if you do anything, I have your daughter at home and I'm going to hurt her.
Oh my God.
It's very serious. It's the Romeo syndrome. I really encourage people to take a hard look at themselves instead of saying to someone else about what they need to fix. If you look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that thought of less than positivity. I don't know, most children have nightmares, and then they go, they're just going through their nightmare phase. Well, it's really the boogeyman underneath. It's an energy, the bed or in the closet, that crawls into bed with us and then inside of us. And then we get to choose as we continue our growth period. Every day, are we going to let in the negativity? Your car goes where your eyes go. Am I going to look at it this way or that way? That we have options in our physical being, in our vibrational energy, to lift ourselves up and change you. Forget about everybody else. When everybody works on themselves, be the change you want to see in the world, really.
I love that. And I love the mirror. To start by looking at yourself in the mirror and look at what you bring too. Let's stop. I always feel like we spend so much time self-criticizing, right? We see everything we hate about ourselves, but if we can start finding what's beautiful, and I know you work with so many of these young people that are having to learn how to love themselves, and all they see is the icky because it's what they've experienced. It starts with even us as grown adults. I have one other question I have to ask, and I don't know what year I'm going to take you back to, but I want to know, if Kimberly was to go back to your maybe 20-year-old self, the younger version of you, what advice would you give to that beautiful young lady based on who you are today, my love, and all of the experiences you've been through? What advice would you give to your younger 20-year-old self?
I got you. I will take care of you. I will love myself more. And know that this is only temporary. And so it is. Deep breath, connect to myself, stay grounded. It's what I did do. I had to do that in my childhood. I even went younger when I was 20. So it's really what I ended up doing.
Wow. Thank you. I love that. And I just would like for everybody to know, because I know we're going to have a lot of people wanting to know. I mean, I want people to know how to learn more about your foundation. They may not be able to make the gala if they want to, where to go to get their tickets, and if not, how to donate and how to be a proponent and a supporter of all of this work that you're doing out there. Can you tell us how to do that?
Yeah, so you can call 844-67-SHERO. You can go to SHEROfoundation.org. She is a hero, and it's hero with an S in front of it, Shiro at foundation.org. We would love to lock arms and have your money go directly into a house that we're building. It's the Shiro Sanctuary on St. Jude's Children Ranch. We're raising $500,000 from Ground Zero building this house to be part of a $15 million project, and we need your help. So we'd love you to help us build this first Shiro Sanctuary in our 5th year.
I just got goosebumps because I've been so excited about that. And I can't wait to help support you in that. We have a lifetime together to keep bringing awareness, love, and support. And I love you for all you're doing. I cannot thank you enough. And I cannot wait to see you in just a few weeks, my love.
Drop the circle, baby. February 7th.
I know.
And then the gala February 8th. I'm really, Holly, I can't tell you how grateful I am and what you and your team have been doing. Just very excited to put the face with a name, Mama.
Oh, it's going to be a hug that may not stop. We will be. Oh, you are an angel on assignment. Thank you, my love. I will see you soon. You are a gift. And just thank you for the time and sharing your passion and your brilliance with us.
To you and your listeners, continue to have the best day ever. Life is what we make it. It comes from us. Shine on. Kimberly Smiles. Lots of hugging you.
I love that. Kimberly Miles is because of smiles. Bye. Thank you for joining me for another awesome celebration of you. If you were inspired by this story, please share it with your family and friends and hashtag Your Story Matters. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment on iTunes. And absolutely, please come to my website, hollydowling.com. Leave a comment there too, and while you're there, pick up your free gift. Most importantly, though, just remember that your life is a gift from God. What you do with it is your gift back.